Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to a brand new Apex Legends video on the channel. This is our third video of our Apex character guide series. Today we're going to be covering the character Pathfinder. He seems to be a fan favorite, but I actually don't like the way I have to sort of play him. Like, it sort of changes up my playstyle because of his hitbox and a couple of other things, which I'll go into in a second. But I am going to be breaking down, of course, his story, then his abilities, and some tips and tricks you should use while playing Pathfinder. Now, if you're going to enjoy this video, make sure you do drop a like on it, and of course subscribe with notifications turned on to be notified of when we upload a video on another character. And of course, if you do want to see another character or your main up next, make sure you do drop it down in the comment section below. Without further ado, let's get straight on into it. So Pathfinder's backstory: his real name, MRVN for short, but his full name would be Mobile Robotic Versatile Entity, and his age obviously is unknown. Similar to Wraith, even though we got some details on the age of Lifeline, who are two characters that we've already done in this series. But Pathfinder is the picture of optimism. Despite his circumstances, a MRVN modified to specialize in location scouting and surveying. He built it up decades ago in an abandoned laboratory with no idea who created him or why. With only his MRVN designation to hint at his identity, Pathfinder set off in search of his creator. Pathfinder has learned much in his travels since then, like how to make a mean Eastern Leviathan Stew, but hasn't come any closer to finding his creator. Still, he's never given up hope and has joined the Apex games to gain a following and hopefully draw the attention of his maker. In the meantime, he remains enthusiastic and helpful, always ready to make new friends, then shoot them. So that's just a little bit on Pathfinder's backstory. Similar enough to Wraith, Pathfinder obviously joins the Apex games in hope of sort of finding more answers and even drawing the attention of his maker. And with Wraith, she's sort of joining the Apex games to try and uncover some secrets that are buried within the world, King's Canyon, that we're playing on, to find out more about who she is and where she came from. So yeah, that's all for Pathfinder's story. Let's move on to Pathfinder's abilities. And let's kick it off with his passive ability. So his passive ability is Insider Knowledge. Scan a survey beacon to reveal the ring's next location. Obviously, being a passive ability, there's no cooldown on this ability. And of course, you should note that the use time on this is 6 seconds. And you should know also, each time sort of the ring moves, you can then use this ability again. Now, the biggest problem I found with this passive ability is actually remembering to use it. And just remember, your teammates can ping it, and if you have good teammates or if you're playing with friends, just remind them to remind you to sort of ping the survey beacons. They're located all around the map, and as a Pathfinder you can obviously use them to see the next location. So if you guys are setting up on top of a building and want to know where the next location is, you can sort of know whether they're fully set up on that building or whether to move and haul ass. It's particularly good early rounds rather than the late ones. But yeah, that's Pathfinder's passive. Moving on to Pathfinder's tactical ability, the grappling hook. Grapple to get out of reach places quickly. And the cooldown on this is 15 seconds. Now I was trying to designate some sort of range, like I was messing around with it, but like even like sort of what I have in my head as the range of it, sometimes it's actually not it. But obviously if you miss a surface, it sort of just resets so you don't like lose the cooldown or anything on it, which is really good. It's really cool as well. The grappling hook can also attach to players, pulling the two of you together. So if you're sort of want to stun an enemy essentially for a second or two, but you do have to remember that the weapon pull out time as well is going to delay you actually sort of finishing off an enemy, but it can put them off in a fight. Or if you grapple hook the side of an enemy when they're shooting at a teammate, it sort of gives your teammate sort of free flow there, sort of fire bullets and knock them down. Just some things to note as well is when your hook connects to a surface, you'll get a slight push forward towards the direction that you're aiming. Now you can use that to your advantage. It's really useful obviously to reach high positions or just move faster on the map, but the best way to use it is for flanking and evading an opponent. It can always turn fights in your favour. And for the fastest movement, you're better off short of shooting up, so you're using it as a swing more so than a way to cover ground. And there's not really much else to be said about the grappling hook, so we'll move on to Pathfinder's ultimate. And it's fairly straightforward to understand as well. Pathfinder's ultimate is the zipline gun. Create a zipline for everyone to use. The cooldown on this is 90 seconds, which is not too long compared to other champions' ultimate recharge times. But enemies can also use this zipline gun. That's probably the first tip I can come up with. Obviously with battle royales, you know that it is all about the high ground, and the zipline gun does come in handy. especially around Skulltown or the likes of Artillery and Airbase, where you can get up on top of towers that you could not normally get up on without the zipline. You can finish out the game that way as well, which is really useful. If you're about to lock down a zipline and you want to cancel it as well, all you have to do is switch to another weapon. That's another tip. But obviously, getting to locations with this zipline gun, you always have to remember that enemies can use them now. I know I've stated it before, but it's a big thing because you think it's going to just go and you're going to be the only one up there, but enemies can also use them. But obviously, when an enemy uses them, they're going to be going up the zipline and they're free firing for you. So all you have to do is pick them off if they do decide to follow you up. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Pathfinder's abilities. We're going to round it up with some overall tips and tricks. In terms of abilities, with your passive, make sure you use it and remember to use it as much as possible. The more insight to each game you have and your team has, the better. In terms of your tactical ability, you can use it to get quick revives as well, but just be cautious because you're so used to it. Doesn't mean you should always use it, and because the cooldown is so short on it, doesn't mean you should always use it. Honestly, I think Pathfinder is one of the noisiest legends in the game, and with your ultimate, use it always to get the high ground, but do remember enemies can use it. I'm going to bring back up the hitbox data, which I normally bring up, and remember Pathfinder is more high mid-range than some of the other characters we've done. We've done Lifeline and Wraith, and they are two of the smallest hitboxes in the game. Remember, as Pathfinder, you are quite a bigger target. Despite how skinny your legs look, they're actually fairly thick in terms of hitbox. Some good matchups to come up against or go with against enemies would be a Lifeline, and then sort of more of an assault player or an aggressive player like Wraith or Bangalore or even Bloodhound. That's probably the best comp I've found with Pathfinder. There's no point of rolling in with a Gibraltar or someone else with a huge hitbox, just because you're easy targets and easy pickings for the enemies. Pathfinder is a really good legend to play though, especially for new people coming to the game, because if you have a new player coming to the game, you can also tell him where to aim his zip lines and, you know, hit that survey beacon, so he's actually helping out you while he's learning about the map and about the guns and about the game. So it's a really good champ, or a really good legend to play for new people coming in to Apex Legends. But without further ado, I am going to leave the video here. I hope you all did enjoy. Make sure you do drop a like if you found it useful and helpful and interesting. And of course, subscribe for more videos like this one. I'm going to leave this one here. Once again, peace out. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in another Apex Legends video very, very soon.
Flash bang, white screen, no field of vision. Can't see what you can't hear in the distance. Cause your head bust, I scope you like it's 1v1 or Russ. I keep that day talking, fuck it, can I let you up?